you're ready to tackle the crab, here are some of the tools. You're going to need a hammer or mallet, depending on one's strength. You're going to want something to pick out the meat, fine cocktail fork, a skewer, a traditional picker. We're going to be using the screwdriver to show you how to kill the crab, to get it ready, because there's a new way that we don't see too often. A lot of people aren't aware of. They typically would just take the whole crab and boil it whole, or split it, boil the sections. So I'll get set up to show you that in a second here. Well, here we got 2 live crabs, just bringing them from the boat. Got them in the pot here, getting ready to go to work on putting them down. So what we've got to do is put these in the freezer. You've got the freezer on your boat, if not, an ice bath that'll slow them right down. So you can see they're still quite active. And if we're going to manipulate them and put them down, then we want them to be dormant. So let's do that. We'll put them in the freezer. Okay, so you see the Dungeness. I've had him in the freezer for just under 10 minutes, so he's slowed right down. There's still slight activity, but what we're working on here is the sensibility of the crab. We want to make sure that it doesn't suffer. And in order to do that, because we want to put him down quickly, there's a place just under this flap. It's called the ganglia, which is the nerve center of the crab. There's one just under here. You'll see a little hole under here, I'll show you. And the other nerve center is right up between the, just below the mouth, between the eyes. And we go in there with a pointed object. In this case, I'm using a screwdriver. And that'll go in at about a 60-degree angle. And this one here at the back is going to be going in at about a 90-degree angle. So the crab is stunned. Excuse me. And what we're going to do now is use the cloth just in case there is any activity. I'm lifting this up, and you can see there's a little indentation here. That is where we were going to put this. So I'm going to do this quickly. There we go. And I just turn that, and that deadens it. And again on the front, at about a 60. So both ganglia are, I guess you'd call it, disengaged. So now we can take this crab and drop it right into boiling water, or in this particular case, I'm going to put it in the steamer. Okay, we've got our pot on our little butane cooker. Come and have a look here. You'll see the water is boiling rapidly. This is a handy little unit for this. You'll see there's only about an inch of water in there. The reason being is I'm just steaming this crab. This will steam in here for 20 minutes. It's a whole crab. If you're just doing the sections, you only need 8 minutes. I wanted to point out this butane cooker. It's a heck of a deal. For about 20-30 bucks you can pick one up, typically at an Asian store in town. And keep these on your boat. When you're cooking crab or any other fish, use this out on the dock or on your back deck or wherever it's convenient, so you don't have that seafood smell in the cabin. It's a great little trick, and we take it everywhere we go. Okay, we have the crab sections, and I'm going to put them in with our whole crab because that's been going for 10 minutes. Actually 12 minutes, I see. And these take 8 minutes because they're thinner. You'll see in here that crab is just steaming away. It's only that little inch of water in there. And we'll put these sections right in here on top because they're steaming. And I've kept this shell because I want to work with it later. There you go. Okay, we've got the Dungeness off the stove. And here we have, I put that shell in there so that we could use that later for a presentation. the cooked sections. I'm going to put them right into an ice bath because we want them to chill down, because perhaps we may want to eat those right away. But what we find is when it's hot, you can let it cool and start to pick it, but we find it tends to pick easier when it's cold. It chills right down. So we also have the whole crab here that's been cooking for 20 minutes. I'm just set that over here. I'm just going to let that cool. And you'll see in here this beautiful rich stock. Now, depending on what else you might want to dine on, or you could freeze this for a fish stock. Just note it as a crab stock because it's quite rich and pronounced in flavor. But to make a bisque or to add to a chowder, well, anywhere where you might be wanting to use a fish stock, this could do the job. So otherwise, it's over the side. Okay, so we've got the Dungeness out of the chilled bath. They're chilled down now so we can handle them. Now, typically, well, you're going to get 4 legs and the claw. And different people do this different ways, I've noticed, but for the most part, I've seen it done just cracking at the body. Just a quick twist. You can see some of that meat coming out right away. And so you've got your body meat, which you can pick out with one of these pickers. And then you've got your leg meat or claw meat here in this particular case. I like to take a wooden mallet. You could use maybe the back of a knife or a hammer if it's clean. And you do a quick motion and try not to get it everywhere. And that quick motion allows, you see it's kind of shrunk in there because of the ice chill. And you can pop out these nice pieces. And that claw is always the one that goes first. So go through this. Now the other way I've done this, I usually do it this way myself when I'm out on the high seas. I just cut it between sections. That way you get some of the body meat with each claw. So if you're serving cold crab to a group, you just serve that whole leg. But I like to put a little crack on it so that people can easily get into it. When you're serving whole cracked crab, you want to make it easy for your guests to get the crab out of the shell. And there you go. You just put that in a bowl and serve it out to your family or your guests. Okay, now we're going to look at the whole Dungeness, how we take that apart. So that's been chilled down slightly. Still a little bit warm. But what we want to do with that is pop the back carapace off. Take this piece by piece. I grab it at the back of the shell here. See how quickly it falls apart. Inside there again, you see the crab butter, or the how do they say that? Hepato? Pancreas. It's the digestive system, but this is all edible. Don't want to get those dead man fingers though. This is luscious juice. Not for everybody's taste, but the real gourmet approach to Dungeness crab, you certainly wouldn't waste that. So we have the dead man fingers, the lungs of the crab. Get those off because nobody likes those. Nothing wrong with them, but they're just not digestible and no flavor, and why bother? Now here we have the 2 sections, which easily split right apart. Now, I typically either wash those in the ocean or in the sink. Some of us like to enjoy this flavorful body meat, but as it is, this is how you might get a section served to you in a restaurant, or certainly in the back of your boat. So that's basically it for the crab. Same as what you saw before with the sections. I would approach it the same way. So cooking them whole can add a little more flavor, I think. For me personally, I like them cooked whole, but I'll never refuse just the sections either. It's just quicker to cook the sections.